So what's going on YouTube and reefers all around the world? It's your boy Jamal. I'm back. I know I've been going for a while. I've only posted one video on my 40-gallon series, and what you're looking at right now is a totally new tank. It's a totally new setup. I was gonna shoot a rookie reefer series, but I ended up moving. I ended up changing my tank because of the move. I'm a lot more satisfied, a lot more experienced, and I just want to break down this tank and show you what I got going on inside. Hopefully it's a good experience for you. Hopefully you can learn some things, and it's really for me to document what I got going on inside of my tank, just so that I can look back later and see growth pictures and see what I started with and where I end. So let's get started with the filtration system. On the far right is my full siphon drain, which I control with a gate valve. In the middle is my emergency drain. Just in case my far right drain gets clogged, my emergency drain will take over so my floor doesn't get soaked with water and things don't go bad. So it's just a little bit of an emergency pipe there. This is the bean animal. Actually, I believe this is called the Herbie. The bean animal has 3 different pipings for the drainage. And then on the far left is my return pump. When you get the SCA 50-gallon aquarium, it comes with soft tubing, and it also comes where the return is in the middle, but I didn't want pipes overlapping or having to cross each other, so I just did it this way. And the hard plumbing made it so much easier to add all of the fittings that I want to the gate valve. I know the pipes don't look pretty because I didn't take anything off, and you see the marks of where I glued it and everything like that, but I wanted the sump to be a little bit rough because it was my creation, and I'm cool with it. It doesn't bother me that much. People don't even get a chance to see that because the cabinets are closed most of the time. Now that we're a little bit closer, I want to go ahead and explain how I get my water filtered. First, it comes down from the far right drain, and then it hits a gate valve, which I tune to make sure that the water doesn't splash and it becomes silent. And then it goes into a filter sock. Now my filter socks are see-through, as you can see. They're very easily cleaned. I can actually wash this in the sink, scrub it clean, and it'll look brand new. The way that I run it is I put a string around it and I hang it over the top of the gate valve. It's easy to take off, put on, and clean. Then I add a zip tie to move the actual media closer to the drain or further away from the drain. Now I know that the filter sock isn't going to catch all of the particulates, but I do have another method for that. At the bottom of my filter sock, I put a filter bag and I fill it up with carbon, and I just have that as my high flow area that runs carbon through it. It's easy to do, it's easy to clean, it's easy to change. I can honestly change the carbon every day with no hassle at all and no change in the system at all. Once I put that at the bottom, I go ahead and get some filter floss and I stuff it on top of the carbon, which makes that my fine particulate catcher. It catches anything that's smaller than, or anything that's too small that'll go through the filter sock. It catches that stuff inside of the filter floss, and it's simple. After I finish that, I normally have to tune the pipe a little bit more because I sometimes add too much filter floss, but it's not easy. It's not hard to do simply because the gate valve is very easy to tune. The next part of my filtration is the SCA 301 skimmer that came with the system as well. It's very quiet, and the reason I believe it's that quiet is because I put a rubber mat at the bottom of the pump, and it sits on that rubber mat. You barely hear any noise. It's a small hum, but it's not a big deal. As you can see, all of that gunk in there is nice and dark. That's about a week's worth of skimmate. I probably should pour it out, but for this video I'm just gonna put it back and I'll clean it up a little bit later. It's easy to get to, easy to clean, and as you can see, so far the system is as easy as it gets. The middle changer holds my biological filtration, which is just marine pure balls and pond matrix, not really too elaborate. And then you see my return pump, which is the Jbao 6000. It comes up into my 1 manifold. I have a gate valve there to control the water flow into my Cheato reactor, and it honestly does a great job. The video has really been made for the Cheato reactor because I've been getting so many questions as to how I run it, what I do, and how it was built. So the Cheato reactor is very simple to build, and all I did was I went on Amazon. I looked up a reactor, any media reactor that can hold water, but I wanted the flow to go all the way to the bottom and then flow up and out of a pipe, which you see there is going on. I found a deep water reactor. It's about 1.5 feet, maybe 2 feet tall, and about 4 inches in diameter, the inner part, and it's very easy to adjust, open. It has screws on top, so I like this reactor overall. The next thing I did, first I bought was red lights, and I put them around my Cheato. That ended up killing all of the Cheato. I mean, it burnt it to hell. And at that point I knew either the Cheato reactor wasn't going to work or I needed to change my lights. So I went ahead and bought the 50-50 version of those lights, which is 50% white, 50% blue. And when I put those on the tank, it exploded. Now, the only issue with the super night lights that you just saw is that they come with the red and black wire. They don't come with the power module. So I ended up having to butcher some, I had to butcher the red lights that I originally purchased, and I put it together with some electrical twisties. And I guess they're called electrical twisties. I'm not an electrician, so it wasn't that hard to do. It was easy to do. All I did was twisted it around, secured it, and it holds pretty tightly. Now, when I first started this Cheato reactor, there was only 4 lights, 4 LEDs lines worth of Cheato in there. So if you count from the bottom up 4, that's where the Cheato was at. And in about a week, it got to the growth that you see now, and then it got really thick. It's like a thick green in the middle that you see. That's the 3rd week. It's about 3 weeks now I had that Cheato reactor, and that's what's been going on.
So if you stuck in the video with me this far, I want to appreciate you, and by saying thank you for even listening to what I have to say about my tank. I know it's been a long time since I posted an update, and I should have probably had one out a little bit sooner, but as I said before, moving and things like that just hindered the fact that I could even make a video. Now this tank is actually pretty far ahead, so I'm gonna have to go back and do some videos on how I got to this point, like the type of lighting I got on the system, and then I can break down the coral and fish and things like that I'm gonna be keeping. The direction that I'm trying to move in with this channel is very simple. I just want to have an atmosphere where people can come, talk about reefing, give advice, take advice, and just have an overall nurturing and nurturing atmosphere where you can learn about reef tanking. Be wary of anybody out there that tries to charge you for information because it's free, and I'm trying to create an atmosphere where you can find that information for free. And also, you can give that information for free, kind of like forums, but more of a smaller community of people that can talk about it. So thank you. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you want to stick along for the ride. And I'll keep putting out weekly videos and documenting my tank success and failures.